What's going on, everybody? David here. Today we're going to talk about the Osmo Pocket, but first off, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon so you can get future updates on my videos. Okay, so I've been wanting to do this video for a while. I've had this for a little over 4 days now, and I've been able to take it out and get some real good footage. And I wanted to just talk about some of the things that I like about the camera, and then a few things that I don't like. Now, I'm going to talk specifically about the camera, not the hookup with the camera and the phone. I'll do a separate video doing that, and the reason for it is there are a lot of features that you have in this camera, and I want to use this mainly the way it is. I don't want to use it with the phone if I don't have to. If I'm shooting some time lapse, yes, I'm going to need to use a phone. But if I'm just out every day getting video and things like that, I don't want to have to use my phone. It just makes it pretty much like any other camera. It makes it more bulky. So I wanted to be able to just pull it out and use it. So there are 6 different categories that we're going to go over today. The first category is going to be speed. Then we're going to look at durability. We're going to look at video quality, audio quality, ease of use, and battery life. Okay, so the first category we're going to talk about is speed. So as far as speed, basically I'm talking about how fast can I get this out of my pocket, turn it on, and start recording. And I've been in plenty of situations where I see something happening and I'm thinking, oh, I want to record this. And the second thing that comes through my mind is, what camera am I going to use? Am I going to use my phone? Am I going to use a little action camera? What am I going to use to get this recorded? And in most situations, I'm not pulling out my DSLR. I'm not pulling out my mirrorless cameras. I'm using an action camera. That's usually what I'll use, because that's kind of the go-to. So I have a Sony X3000. This is what I'll use for the most part to get a shot. The fact that this is pretty easy you just turn it on, hit record, and you're going. But the only thing is you can't see what you're recording. If you face it in the right direction, for the most part, you'll get it. You can't compose a shot or anything like that with this. You just kind of have to shoot blindly and hope that the composition is the way that you want it. So I was very interested to get this camera because it does have a little screen on it, so I can compose a shot. But how long does it take to get out of my pocket? So let's just kind of do a test here. So let's say I have it in my pocket. I pull it out of my pocket. It's in the case. I open it up. I turn it on and hit record. So that's about how long it takes. So we're talking a few seconds to actually get it to start recording. And obviously you'll probably have to be in a situation where you hit the little touch screen so you can get the focus. It's not like an infinity focus like a lot of the action cameras. It does have, you can focus the camera in certain areas. So you do have a little bit of depth of field, which is nice. I like that because it's just a little more, it looks more like a regular camera. It doesn't look like an action camera. And one of the issues that I have with cameras like this is everything is in focus, so you kind of know it's an action camera when you're looking at it. And for someone who is into video and photography, when it comes down to it, you want something that looks a little more high-end when it comes to video. Especially if I'm doing like a vlog and stuff like that. I want to have a little bit of background blur so you can focus more on me. So that's my take on speed. So speed category, I'll do percentages for all these different categories. I'd give it like an 85%. So a strong B when it comes to the speed and getting it out of your pocket. Okay, so the second category I want to talk about is durability. So this is obviously a gimbal and there are a lot of moving parts. So if you do drop this, you might have an issue with, it might break. And so it's not as durable as like an action camera, but I don't see this in that same category. I see this as a small, lightweight camera that you can use for vlogging or that you can use to get steady shots. So you don't have to pull out the big gimbal. You can use this one and still get some pretty good footage. So that's the way that I see this camera. So I'm not looking for a camera that I can drop or put underwater or have it out in the rain. That's not what I'm looking for when it comes to this. This is one of those cameras that you can get out there, get some real good footage, and not have to worry about having shaky footage. So that's the way that I see this. So as far as all the moving parts and everything, it does have those. If I drop this, I would be concerned. However, you can get the care plan. They have a care plan where you can get insurance on this camera. So if you do drop it and you completely damage it and it's unusable, then they will replace it one time. And then if you have some other issues with it, then they will try to repair it for you. So that's good. And it's very inexpensive. It's like under $30 to get this insurance. So that's nice to know. As far as how I would rate this, I'd probably rate it about 80% as far as durability. It is solid. You don't hear anything rattling around when you shake it. So it is well built, and the material it's plastic, but it feels really like a sturdy plastic, and you have a little rubberized front there, so you can kind of rest your thumb there if you want to, so you can hold it like this and walk around. So that's pretty good. It's well built. I would say it's pretty durable. However, if you drop it, you might have some issues there. Okay, let's talk about video quality. So this shoots 4K at 60 frames per second, which is really good. And now we're having cameras that are starting to come out with the 4K 60 frames per second. The GoPro Hero 7 has 4K 60 frames per second. You're going to see more cameras. The Sony X3000, this camera doesn't shoot at 40. It shoots at 4K, but at 30 frames per second. The new one that comes out, I'm sure, will have 4K at 60 frames per second. And Sony's been known to actually jump ahead. So they might even do like a 4K 120 frames per second. Who knows? But this is good. This is going to be the standard for the next few years. We're going to have 4K 60 frames per second. So I'm glad that they put that in this camera. As far as having a readout on the back, so I can look, a little monitor, I can see where my shot is and can pose it. I really like that feature. I can flip it around, do a selfie. I can see myself on the camera. So that's another good feature. A lot of action cameras, they don't have that. And although it's not in the same category as an action camera, I do like to compare it to an action camera because I use this the same. So I use this for vlogging. This is a great camera, the Sony X3000. And now that I have this camera, I have something where I can compose my shot. I can flip it around, compose my shot. So I will compare it to an action camera in that way, because I use an action camera not just for action stuff, but also for vlogging. So I like the fact that you can just flip the screen around, hit it 3 times, the camera flips around, and there you are. You can see yourself, it face tracks, all that good stuff. So I mean, some of the features, these video features, are just amazing. Like the face track, where I can move my head around and it's going to track me, and I can set it down and walk around and it will track me as long as I don't go too far off the screen. Then it will keep me in focus and it will track me. So the face tracking and then the ability to track a person as they walk around is mind-blowing. And that right there changes the game when it comes to small little cameras like this, because now you can just set this down, and let's say you don't have to have 2 or 3 different cameras. Let's say you're traveling, you put this camera down, you kind of walk around, do this, walk around, do that, and it's recording everything that you're doing. So that's pretty amazing. Now the focus is a little bit of an issue. You have the contrast autofocus, so you're not going to get really sharp, like the focus isn't that quick, and I do see it. So although it's tracking my face, sometimes I go out of focus and it takes a little bit of time to get back. One thing I do like is it doesn't hunt. I have a Panasonic G7 and it's contrast autofocus, and it hunts. So it will try to focus on you. If it can't, then it'll just start hunting and start going back and forth. Like you'll see it just kind of vibrating. So I don't like that. In this camera, I don't see that. So it'll take a little bit more time to get you in focus, but once it does, and it's pretty good. And if you're out of focus, a lot of times you're slightly out of focus. You're not really like completely out of focus to where you can't even make out like you can see that it's a person, but you can't really make out facial expressions and stuff like that. It's just slightly out of focus. So it's not that big of a deal. It's not that bad. But I do notice, yeah, you can see sometimes there are situations where I go out of focus a little bit, so I'm a little fuzzy, and then it comes back in and I'm real sharp. Overall though, video quality, I mean, I definitely would give it like a 90%. Like I don't see very many issues when it comes to the video quality. Okay, so the next category I want to talk about is audio. So when the camera when they first announced the camera, they had some people testing it, and the audio did sound it didn't sound very good. You didn't have much bass in it, but now they've improved it. They did an update, and before they released the actual camera so consumers can buy it, they improved it, and it does sound better. It does sound a lot better. I took it out. I was able to do a little vlogging with it, and it sounded pretty good. I did notice there was a situation where I was on my bike, and let's see, we'll flip it around here. So I'm on my bike and I'm recording, and I had my thumb just kind of down like this. So I had my thumb down, and I'll show some video of this so you guys can see it. All right, on my way back, I'm testing out my new camera. I have this Osmo Pocket now, and it's a lot easier because it has a gimbal on it, so I don't have to worry about shaky footage, and I'm able to just hold it in my hand. In the future, I'm gonna have to figure out, they have some different accessories and stuff that I can put on it that will allow me to, that's another good thing too. You can just flip the camera around, hit the button 3 times and flips the camera around, so that's good. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with it, and I think for cycling this is perfect. It's small enough so you can just put it in your pocket, and when you're ready to use it, you just pull it out and it'll give you some shots. Now it's not as wide as I would want it, and for whatever reason it did sound a little strange, and I noticed when I moved my thumb away, then it was fine. So I don't know if my thumb was right in front of it and it was kind of giving it, making the audio sound a little different, but once my thumb was moved, then it was fine. And that's one thing that I have an issue with. How do you hold this? Do you hold it like this? Because you have a mic at the bottom, you have a mic at the top. So do you hold it like this? You can't hold it like this. Like I would want to hold it just like this. That would be comfortable for me, and it feels like I have a pretty good grip on it. And you have the front-facing mic here where I can do a vlog if I want to do that. But you're covering up the bottom. You're covering up the bottom mic. So it's really one of those delicate situations. How do you hold it? Do you hold it like this? If I hold it like this, I have less stability. Like it's not really stability because you have a gimbal. So I just want to be able to make sure I don't drop it. And so that's one issue that I have with where the mics are. Another issue that I have is that you have that mic at the bottom. So let's say you flip it around, and this happened to me. So let's flip it around 3 times here. And I'm walking. So let's say I'm walking down an area, I'm getting some footage. If I'm talking, it's perfect because I have a mic right here. But I also have the mic underneath. So guess what that mic underneath is picking up? It's picking up my footsteps. So now not only are you hearing me talk, but you're actually getting distracted because you hear footsteps. So if you're wearing shoes that make noise when you're walking on the ground, and you're going to hear that, or if you're walking on grass or walking in different environments, you're going to hear all that noise. And so sometimes that can be really, really distracting. So that's one of the issues that I have, the fact that they have that mic on the bottom. I understand why they have it on the bottom, but I still have an issue with them having it on the bottom. Maybe if you were able to turn it off, and I don't know if you're able to turn it off. I haven't really seen that. I looked through some of the features and I wasn't able to see if you can turn it off, but it'd be nice if you could. But I think the ultimate reason that they have it is because, let's say you have the camera like this, let's say you mount it, and I saw the little device, the accessory that they have to mount this camera. So if you want to mount it on something like a GoPro mount, you could mount it this way. Now you have where I can talk, you can hear from the top, and you can also hear from the back. And if you're in a situation where you do want to put this on something, and I don't know, well, I'll have to see. I will test it out on a bike because I'm curious just to know what the footage would look like and how it would sound. Although I'm a little nervous about putting it on a bike because it will shake around a lot. But the fact that you have the mic here and the mic here, it's perfect because the wind's going to come from the front. And so you probably get a little bit of wind distortion on the top mic here, but you're not going to get any wind distortion on the back. So that's the reason I think that they have it set up like that, where you have a mic on the back and a mic on the top, or a mic on the bottom and a mic on the top. But I don't know. I have issue with it, and that's one of the things I notice. I'm walking on a bridge and you can hear my footsteps, and so that's a little annoying that they have that. But all in all, I would give it 75% out of 100 as far as the audio goes. Okay, next category I want to talk about is the ease of use. So this camera has it's a touch screen. So you have the touch screen, and we're just talking about the camera. I'm not talking about the phone. When you use the phone, you have even extra added features, but just using the touch screen is really responsive, and it's very easy. Everything is out. It's not cluttered. So you can see exactly where you want to go. You don't have to take a lot of time to try to figure out, okay, do I go to this menu, that menu? I'm coming from Sony. I have a Sony a7R III. I love that camera, but the menu settings, the menu features, you have to go through all these different features, and they don't make sense all the time. This is easy. It's quick. I can find the video if I want to shoot video. I can find time-lapse if I want to shoot time-lapse. I can find just photo if I want to just take a photo. So it's very easy, very responsive, touchscreen. I can't say enough good stuff about the actual ease of use. So I'll give that 90%. Okay, so the last category I want to talk about is the battery. So the battery's been an issue. People have talked about this. Is it the fact that you can't take the battery out and replace it with another battery, and I think you can get a little over an hour of time if you use this continuously. That's not a problem for me. And I'm going to tell you one thing that I really like about the battery. I don't mind that you can't switch out the battery. What I do like is I can have a little power bank and hook that up to the bottom here, and I get extended battery. And I can just record continuously. So that's my big thing. So if I'm out, and let's say I'm out and I want to get footage, like I was out in Thailand 2 months ago, and I had this little action camera, and I had it hooked up to a power bank. I was able to put it on top of a vehicle, and for a 2-hour ride, almost 2 hours, like 1 hour and 45 minutes, I was able to keep a continuous shooting. I didn't have to stop for anything. So in a situation where you can't do that, you have to take the battery out. So you have to take the battery out, replace the battery. So you have to stop the recording. You don't have to stop the recording with that Sony camera, and you don't have to stop the recording with this camera. I can just keep recording. And that's what's more important to me. So yes, it is a little bulkier because you have this extra power bank. But if you really want to do it, you can put it in your shirt pocket. You can put it in your other pocket and just have the cord coming out. And you can get continuous video. So you can record continuous. As long as you have a large enough SD card, you're fine. So the battery's not that big of an issue for me. It's going to charge and record at the same time. So once you're done with the power bank, you still have some juice left in the camera to continue shooting. So that hasn't been an issue. And I've taken it out now, and I just record, take it out, turn it on, do a quick little recording, maybe 2-3 minutes, put it back in my pocket, take it out, do it again. So I'm able to use it all day, as long as I'm not doing just a continuous long recording. So if I'm doing a continuous long recording, just plug it into the power bank. I don't have any issues at all. So the battery is not going to be an issue for me, and I would give it 85% for battery life. So overall, the overall rating for this camera is 84%. And that's good. I mean, this is a camera, I would get another one, and I probably will get another one, but I just like to have at least redundancy, like I have another camera, so if I'm out traveling, I don't have to worry about if this camera goes down, I still have another camera that I can pull out and use. And it's very important for me to get video and to put out videos like this and have footage and stuff like that. So that's important to me. So I'll definitely probably get another one. And I like it. There are a lot of things that I like about it. But more importantly though, I'd like to know, have you guys picked up this camera? Do you like it? Are there some reasons why you wouldn't get the camera? Please post in the comments below. If you have any questions, you can also post in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.